Hey everybody, welcome back to We Are Podcast. This is Quackin' Up Season 1, Episode 1, CJ Starr. If this is your first time checking out the podcast network, please head over to your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, or iTunes, and give We Are Podcast Network a like. And if you get a chance, head over to our social media. All links can be found in the description. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at /We Are Podcast. And with that said, on to the podcast. Hey everybody, welcome to Quackin' Up. Whether a truth or a lie, we're gonna laugh until we cry. Y'all, today I'm super excited because I have one of my favorite comedians ever, period, done on the show. I got Mr. CJ Starr. CJ, how are you doing, sir?
What's up? What's up?
Hell yeah. And we also got Alvin Newsome, who I love also. Alvin, how are you doing, sir?
Good. I'm good. I'm glad you corrected that. You said CJ was one of your favorites. I was like, what am I like?
No, dude.
Am I like the cash considerations in the NFL trade?
No. I love
sure.
you. I'm so happy to have you here. Thank you so much for being on. CJ is going to be having a show at the Arlington Improv on the 20th at 7 p.m. That is this Sunday. You got to come check it out. But we're going to play a little game in the meantime. Basically, I have a bunch of suggestions and a hat. And we're going to pull these suggestions out, and they're story suggestions. So I'm going to pull these suggestions out of the hat. We might have a story to go with them. We might not. Suggestions such as, tell me about your worst kiss. And then you would tell me a story about your worst kiss. And hopefully it's entertaining. I'm sure it will be. These guys are super talented at what they do. So first suggestion is going to be...
What we got.
Oh, that's a horrible one to put on, y'all. An awkward story about your first crush and or love. That is horrible. That is so mean.
We both look it up like this.
Do I want to tell that story? It really does out you a little bit because I had to tell a version of this story before about my first love, and it made me out to be a total creeper.
I will say this, I remember like the sixth grade, I had a crush on a girl, and just imagine like girls are so much bigger than the guys in the sixth grade. Like girls look like women and guys look like little boys.
Yes.
And I had a crush on a girl, and I really liked her. She had a curl. She was beautiful. She had an LA in front of her name, so it was like Latoya, Latasha or something. I wrote her a note, and like all I said was, "Do you like me?" And she had said yes. Ooh. And then my mind wandered for the next 3 hours, like I had a relationship with her. It went all the way out. I pretty much pushed her out. I mean, like we was having kids by 8 hours. Like, no. You're moving way too fast. And she's like, you act like you've never had a girlfriend before. And I was like, I think I have.
I've definitely been there. Anytime I've almost gotten into a relationship, I play it all out for myself. And I'm just like, it's wonderful. And then I get in the relationship and it's not. How about you, Alvin? What's the most awkward story you have about first crush and or love?
Oh, man, it's about the same age, about sixth grade. It was this girl, Anisha Johnson. And no, it was 7th grade. We went to elementary school together because that's when it still was like kindergarten through 6th. And then like over the summer, I realized she liked me because I've always been slow to recognize when women like me. Mm-hmm. Like I've always been that dude that like a woman would be like, "Do you have the time?" And I'm like, "Sure, it is so and so." And then she'll walk off. I was like, "She had 2 watches on. What's going on with that?" I'm like, "Oh wait." It'd be like a week later before I figured it out. I'm like, "Man, she needs time." So anyway, so over the summer, she somehow she got my phone number. She called me and I was like, "Oh, hey, how are you?" Once I realized like 2 weeks later that she liked me, like that's when this is how dated we are. This is when we used to have tapes. I played her like some like Jodeci, like some Jodeci. And and she was my girlfriend for like 3 weeks, but then going back into school, you young, you can't really focus. My grades started to slip. My mom was like, "You ain't got no little girlfriend no more," and I had to like break up over the phone.
Oh,
and no. I say Black people are the only people that would lose a relationship over grades.
Yes,
grades. Like you lose your football position and your girlfriend. Like you ain't got no little girlfriend. You can tell her you might as well don't even talk to her. Like, damn, you took away the note reading. Okay.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. So.
All right. Tell me a story about a time you broke the law. And if it's going to get you in trouble, you don't have to tell the story.
I think statute of limitations is pretty much. I broke the law one time. It's actually become a joke working for UPS. And I had this is the scam of UPS. This is when I was in my teens, mind you. My scam was to order stuff to abandoned houses.
Did it work?
I would have got away with it if it wasn't these meddling kids. No, I'm just
Yes.
kidding. I was doing it with a friend of mine, and he actually got caught and ratted me out.
Oh man.
No.
So the funniest thing of it is after we had to go to court, and it was like, I mean, you know, they didn't get me for all the stuff I stole. So they were like, it's just a misdemeanor. Like I got speakers, a car, stereo system. My shit was bumping. And then they got me for something super small. And I went to court and they were like, you have to pay these fines and all this stuff. And I said, can I keep the stuff? The judge didn't find that funny at all.
So it was just a misdemeanor. Not too bad.
Yeah. Like if they would have found out that this ring was about 6 months old instead of 8 months old instead of like 6 weeks, they would have been like, all this stuff.
Yeah.
All of it.
Oh, that's no good.
Alvin's never broke the law. He jaywalked once and he went immediately and
to the corner of the street and walked the right way.
Broke up with his girlfriend.
Alvin, have you ever broken the law?
I have actually. I have.
Uh-oh.
What?
And I didn't get caught. I didn't get caught. So me and some of my fraternity brothers, we do stupid stuff. And so we had been eyeing the street sign. The name of the streets, it was like one of the names of like one of our founders. So it's called Ogle. And so we were like, yo, we got to steal that. And so we basically, like we were pledging, we were like, let's do it. So we just basically, this was in like another state. It was like another state. Close.
So this happened in Tennessee. So when did
And so yeah, we did it, and yeah, so that's
How
what
did y'all
happened.
get caught?
We didn't.
I thought
We
you
didn't.
said
This
you
was
got caught.
Never got
20 years
caught.
ago.
You think that sign's still at the frat house then?
Yeah, probably.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
probably somewhere. It's probably floating around somewhere.
Yeah, somebody's got that. It's in a storage unit somewhere or something.
Enjoying this episode? Go check out Geekster, a dating and friends app for geeks that focuses on common interests as a way to make meaningful connections. Download today on the App Store or click the link in the description to find out more. Geekster, this is what happens when nerds collide. Geekster, available on iOS and Android.
All right, what is your craziest one-night stand story? Really putting you guys on the spot on these. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. What do you got, Alvin?
I don't really have any one night stands.
What?
Yeah,
You never
he
had a
had
one-night
relationships
stand?
Yeah,
I
but
never had
you a
any.
frat boy. You didn't have relationships with everybody.
I did, man. I did, man. Because here's the thing. I got like one of them Southern black mamas, but she was also like a HIV and AIDS counselor. So she would tell me all the worst stories. And I was just like, this is kind of
Send you pictures on your phone of
yeah, like yeah.
bad
So I was
looking
like, nah, I'm cool, man. So I never had any one night stands. Man. I don't
Never.
have any. I don't have anything to contribute there. I don't have anything to
You're
contribute.
fine. You're fine. How about you,
I
CJ?
did, and right after I got done, she goes, "So what are you about to do?" I said, I asked her what she's about to do, and she says, "Well, I was hoping I could stay with you." And I go, "Well, my mother doesn't know that I have sex yet, so
Oh no!
I think I was a good 24." No, I'm just kidding.
That was last week, CJ. You ain't got to lie. That was last week.
Keep picking this one up. This is such a weird one. Tell me a story about a time you went skinny dipping.
All right, Ducky. That is a very Caucasian question.
I was about to say, black people
Most
go
Caucasian questions ever.
That's
But the thing is, like,
Black people
there's
don't do.
logistics that got to be involved. If we think about skinny, then we got to make sure we got some lotion with us. We don't get ashy. We just can't jump in no body of water without a plan. Like, black people got to have a plan. And especially a black woman, she gonna be like, I ain't skinny dipping in nothing. I just got my hair done. I'm not finna skinny dip in nothing. Like, so no, I ain't got
Never.
nothing either.
None.
No.
No,
All
listen,
right.
I
first
can't
of all,
be walking around
We ain't
ashy all
jumping
day.
in no water that we don't know how deep it is.
Exactly.
And secondly, we ain't getting naked because Alvin's mama sent me pictures of bad looking coochie and stuff that you crawl up your dick.
All right. Tell me about a time you went ghost hunting. Is that?
These must be the top 10 white people.
I was gonna say
Exactly.
same thing, right? No.
The closest thing me and CJ have come to ghost hunting, I'm not going to name the club. They have a cabin in the woods
What?
in rural Arkansas. or Missouri or Kentucky. It's one of those areas. I'm not
One of
gonna
those.
name it.
One of those. Missouri,
One of those
Kentucky,
areas,
Arkansas.
and we stayed there, and we only stayed there for a very short time because once we realized, we was like, oh, we the only Negroes in the woods. This seems very sketchy. So we was like, nah, we out of here. We did the show. We was like, yeah, we bouncing.
Yeah, we was like, ooh, ooh, ooh. We like, what's up, niggas?
We was like, nah, we out of there. We was out. Yeah, that was the closest to ghost hunting we came.
Yeah,
it was very spooky out there. We was like, nah, we do that on this. It was exactly how all horror movies start too.
Yeah.
Black dudes
Ian.
We don't even get through the credits.
Tell me about your worst bathroom experience.
Same place. Same cabin. Bathroom was too small for me to take a shower in, and I'm a big dude, but damn. No, there's been other times where I was sick once, man. This was younger, and I got sick once, and let's just say I left some clothes in there.
How about you, Alvin? You got a worse bathroom experience?
I think probably the same. I probably had the same experience. It was one of the reasons that I don't eat Taco Bell anymore. I'm just going straight to details. But yeah, it was a similar experience to CJ's. That should have been the one that broke me. Yeah, it was, because it was literally the next time I went to Taco Bell, I found a key in my taco. So that was kind of it.
What?
Is that a house key?
Yes, a house key. Literally, I don't know how this happened.
That was somebody trying to tell you that they was trying to get you to their house.
I was actually texting my friend from college about that because he was there, and I was like, "Do you remember?" They said, "Man, I can't forget that. Like, how did you have the?" He said, "Man, if this had been now with phones everywhere, you'd own a Taco Bell franchise."
Yes, 100%, 100%. I like CJ's theory though that it was a girl trying to invite you over, and like you said, you're just oblivious to what the ladies are saying.
Yeah, I'm true. I was very much oblivious.
All right. Tell us about your weirdest restaurant experience. Craziest, whatever story you got.
Oh, yeah, I remember this. This was like about 4 or 5 years ago. I was doing a show in, Oklahoma City. So I went to dinner by myself, and there was a young lady. She was eating dinner, and she was sitting next to me. And she was talking. I could hear her on the phone, and she was like, "Don't you come up here. Don't you come up here." Next thing I know, like 5 minutes later, dude walks in. And he was like, "So you didn't say we weren't together no more. What's going on here? What's going on here?" And she was like, "Well, he can tell you what's going on here." And I was like, "Who?" Like we were there, like two, like a right next. I was like, "Camp? Like, me? I can me? A whole me can tell you." And so I guess what the dude was like. The thing is, dude, when like his voice, he had one of the voices that was really intimidating. But he was like the size of Cat Williams, so it was just like, I guess he just needed somebody. And then he was like, "What you know?" And I was like, "Hey man, I was trying to be like, yo, I don't got nothing to do with your situation." But once I stood up, I realized I was towering over him, and he did too. So he kind of just fell back. And I was like, I was like, "Why did you bring me in your situation?" Why?
I would have made her pay for my meal
Immediately.
I have no crazy restaurant stories.
Never had nothing crazy happen?
Well, because I have my mother who every time you take her out to eat, it's an adventure. Like she looks at the food and she's like, And she doesn't like the waitress to call them honey. No terms of endearment, none of that. And I'm like, oh, here it goes. So I just try to chill. I'm a Yelper though, so it don't matter.
Yeah, you're gonna get that food for free.
Yeah.
Immediately. All right, what is the scariest thing you have ever done? This one's more of a serious question.
Scariest?
Yeah, scariest thing you've ever done. Like for me, going up on stage the first time to do stand-up was the scariest thing I've ever done.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. I was terrified. I did the ritual. I had to get drunk beforehand so I couldn't feel feelings. And then I went up there and recited some words and got over the fear very quickly. But I had to go up there and get it done that way. But for me, it was one of the scariest things I ever did in my life.
I went cow tipping. That was pretty scary.
You went cow tipping?
We went cow tipping and snipe hunting on the same night.
Oh, no. Somebody took you snipe hunting?
Yeah, because I was trying to make some money, and they were like, "Yeah, you can get like $40-$50 a pelt, and they're easy to get. You just gotta wait." They dressed us up in camo, and we went out there, and I was out there like 40 minutes, and I was like, "This is some bull." But I did go cow tipping before. Like we got drunk, we went cow tipping, and sneaking up on the cow and rocking it, and you just not knowing that one could rock your way, and you'd be crushed. Yeah, but I mean, when you're in high school, you just do stupid stuff, jump electrical fences and try to tip bulls.
No. That's the snipe hunting's the part that got me. They convinced you that it was going to happen. But
Well, I mean, I didn't know anything about hunting anyway.
Yeah.
They're like, you don't need a license to hunt on your own property. And I was like, that's what my mama get for taking me to Ohio. That's all I said.
Yes, that's a very mountain thing. That's a very I'm from Pennsylvania, Western Pennsylvania, and snipe hunting is 100%.
I have no idea what y'all even talking about.
Dude,
Like,
it's a lie. It's if anyone ever asks you to go snipe hunting, it's a lie. It's a fallacy. You want nothing.
It's a fake animal, and they have you out there looking for it, basically, with a gun.
Did they make you? You said they made you do the call and everything.
Yeah,
like
do the call and all that.
Yeah, it's a nasty trick, is what it is. And I'm not saying it ever happened to me, but it might have. How about you, Alvin? What is the scariest thing you've ever done?
I think the scariest thing was probably years ago. Me and some friends did like those like NASCAR experience with like the real cars.
Mm-hmm.
Like my friends paid a little extra money. They were like, so they just let us go. So like we didn't have nobody with us. So I'm in there doing like 100, and then it started getting loose, and I was like, oh, okay, let me bring this on back down, player. I was like,
those curves come up.
I know how Dale Earnhardt went out. I'm not trying to do that.
Did the curves come up quick?
Yeah, they came up quick, and I was like, oh, okay. Let me tighten this thing up. 10 and 2, buddy.
Are you serious? You got the sneak? Like, was it like a smaller one, or was it actual NASCAR?
It was like an actual NASCAR. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's insane.
And you got up to 100.
I got to 120, and then I started feeling a little weird. I was like, no, I'm gonna pull this back down. I'm gonna pull this back down.
Oh my God, that's insane.
I'm gonna pull this back down because I was like, I ain't going out like Dale. Not gonna do it. Not gonna be me.
All the stories would be like, remember when Alvin did that stupid shit?
Exactly. Like, remember when?
Tell me a story about being too high.
I got so high, I couldn't stop my heart from beating fast.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept on telling my wife she's killing me. I was like, you killing me. I can't stop it. I said, I can't stop my heart from beating, and I can't stop the ceiling fan from going. Like I was trying to stop the ceiling fan with my mind. I wouldn't do it. I couldn't put on my t-shirt. I kept on putting it on and it'd be on backwards, and I take it off and I twist it and I put it on and still be backwards. And she sat there and watched me the whole time going, oh, you'll get it, babe. Like,
oh no.
It was to the point like I did it 6 times and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it 7 times this way and then it'll be perfect. Like it was a combination. I just kept on turning it around. It's been a while. I mean, like, because they told us not to do it. Like they gave us like 500 milligram edibles and I did some stuff. I do that stuff to go to sleep a lot. And it was just way too much for me. I couldn't stop I was like.
How about you, Alvin? You got a time that you got too high?
Yep, it involved similar to that involved my now wife. So this was like my 34th birthday. She like did it up. We were staying at like the Sheraton downtown Dallas, and so she was like, we went to dinner, and she was like, let's try this out. So she had like a Fruity Pebble, like one Fruity Pebble edible.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, cool, yeah, let's do this. We got plans. We're just gonna get wild tonight. I immediately, like 30 minutes after eating it and I was eating my food, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, you don't want to eat after that too. Oh my goodness. It helps.
Once we got back to the room, we would play. We're like, yeah, we're going to go to this place. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. All I know is I sat down in a chair and then like 6 hours later, I woke up in that chair. Like I was like, I just could, like, it's like the first 30 minutes, I could feel myself being like, yo, you're high. You might need to chill. My body was like, you're going to stay right here. And I literally just stood in that chair. Like I had changed clothes and everything, like to go out again. And it was like, nah, we good. We're done for the night. You should have got your stuff done. My body was like, you should have got all your stuff done. You didn't. It's your fault. You had a window. This was the window. You missed it. So I was just like, I was sitting in that chair in the hotel like, man, I really just was that high. I just was high. 6 hours of my life. I just literally just like, this is your life.
Exactly.
Was it a freak out situation or it was just I can't move? I'm good.
I just couldn't move. I was stuck. I was just stuck. And then my body just shut down. And then I was just like, all right, we stuck right here. So all right, now you're going to go to sleep for a couple hours. Now
there you go. There you go.
Don't you just love the fact that he's like, you lie to yourself, I'm going to sleep for a couple hours, then we're going to be good.
Yeah.
And then none of that happens afterwards. There's no you good afterwards.
All right, tell me about your wildest party story. What is the wildest party you've ever been to?
Oh, man, I've thrown some wild parties.
Yeah?
We used to do pajama jams all the time. That's how old we are.
Pajama jams? What's that?
come to the party in your pajamas.
Okay. So
and then you just have a really good time. And like we used to have, look, this is a long before COVID, so this is what we used to do: clean out the bathtub, put ice in it, put Everclear and tropical punch, Hawaiian punch in there, and it was just called Hunch Punch. Everybody would just scoop it out and drink it.
No,
it was the worst drunk ever.
Yes, that's a hangover before you're even drunk, right there.
That but I mean, like that's all it took to get people to parties. They'd be like, "It's a party. What? It's a theme party, okay?" And they have alcohol there, okay? You're under 21, so you're gonna do it.
Did anyone ever get frisky at the pajama parties?
Oh yeah, it was always something later on. You'd be like, "I was drunk, but I remember that you went up into that room with her." And, yeah.
We used to throw the parties, and we used to get the Zima for the girls, and just say the ladies loved the Zima back in the day.
Zima.
He said Zima. Like, how old are you that you remember Zima?
Might as well say Crystal Pepsi while he was at it. Like that's the.
And we got them the Crystal Pepsi too. Hey everyone, it's just Duck jumping in here real quick to say thank you so much for checking out the podcast today. If you're enjoying it, head over to your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, or iTunes, and give We Are Podcast Network a like. And if you get a chance, head over to our social media. All links can be found in the description. You can find us at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at /We Are Podcast. And with that, back to the podcast. How about you, Alvin? What's the wildest, craziest party you've ever been to?
Wildest, craziest, but definitely in college. There was always something going on at the parties, man. Like the one party that I really hate, this is the one craziest party that we missed, actually. Like me and my friends, we went on a road trip and we were somewhere else out partying. And then we got a call, like all our phones blew up. And it was the craziest night because I remember the night exactly. It was the night the Malice at the Palace happened. So it's like that night, and then we get a call from back home, like a couple of sororities. They got into a brawl at one of the parties. Then like somebody cars got broken into. It was like a bunch of crazy stuff happened that night while we were out partying. I think we were in Atlanta or Nashville, I can't remember. And we heard about all this stuff. And so that was the craziest night because it was like all the stuff that was happening at the parties back on campus, we weren't around for.
Yeah.
It was like it's the stuff of legends because you hear about it, you remember everything that happened. It's crazy. That's
wild. So you kind of missed the wildest party night.
Yeah, I kind of missed it.
But you got that secondhand party. All right. Tell me about the most up thing you ever saw at a Waffle House. I love this one.
That's an oxymoron question. Everything is the most thing you've ever seen.
That's why I love it, because every time I went to a Waffle House, something crazy has happened. It's always at 3 a.m. Somebody's choking on a waffle. It's nuts. Like, I love it. Somebody comes in and picks a fight with somebody.
It's usually the cook.
Yeah.
I went to the Waffle House. It's right there on the Florida-Mississippi border, right before you drive into Florida. Like you go into Destin, there's a Waffle House, and they had one waitress and one cook and two of the hoodest people. We learned so much about them that day, as the sun was rising. They've been trying to quit forever. They can't quit. And one of them just got back because they was on parole. You learn so much from some people over terrible food.
How about you, Alvin? What was the craziest thing you ever saw at a Waffle House?
The crazy, like I said, there's so many crazy stories at Waffle House because that's always the place you meet up at in your 20s after a club or whatever. I think the craziest thing was, to me, it doesn't sound crazy, but it's crazy to me thinking about this. They literally had like the little flyers that said like, come have your Valentine's. Like I went in around February, like early February, like come have your Valentine's. Like they printed up like for real flyers for like Valentine's at Waffle House. I was like, fam, nobody's like, if you're doing this, you're not gonna have a Valentine. There's no, like, that was the crazy, because I just was like, I know what I come here for. I come here in the middle of the night. You use some alcohol.
He don't love you. He don't love you if you take it.
Exactly. He don't love, like, he don't love you if you take
it. There.
That's why I was like, wait a minute. I was like, certain places I get, like, if Chili's being like, hey, some cutesy, like, baby for Valentine's, you're like, you can't get away with Waffle House for Valentine's. That was like the wildest thing. They had like real flyers, and I was like, somebody's gonna come here for Valentine's. That's crazy. I did not consider that in my head because like Valentine's, like Waffle House is like roaches for humans. It's like we only there at night. We ain't there during the daylight. Like you'll never be there during the daylight, like unless it's like 6 a.m. But that's it. Like the idea.
No one goes there during the day. Like anything after 7 o'clock, from 7 a.m. till 2 a.m., no one goes there that loves their body.
Exactly. So I'm like, that was the wildest thing. Cause I was like, I've seen the cook with the smoking 2 cigarettes while what y'all need? Like I've seen that. That makes sense. Like everything else, I've seen fights in the parking lot. That makes sense. But actual Valentine's flyers for Waffle House was wild.
All right, y'all. This will be my final question. All right. Where's the grossest place you have ever hooked up?
Waffle House. I'm just kidding.
College party at the Armory in the bathroom.
What was the bathroom like?
It's the Armory, man. You just use like the Armory. The only thing you ever hear Armory used for is like military or like local wrestling promotions. So it's like you can already imagine it's not the best place.
I would like to say a party at someone's house in the bathroom, right next on the floor by the toilet and everything else.
Yeah, I've definitely done that.
And what was so funny, the chick was like, I remember she called me a 2-minute brother. I'm like, you wanted to make love down there? Okay.
Like, is this what we doing?
All right, let me do one more. So then on a happy note, what was the happiest moment of your life? And you both are married, so you have to say your wedding.
Yeah, I was gonna say, come on, man. We gotta say, marrying my lovely wife last year was the best moment of my life. And becoming a dad, those are the 2 best things in my happiest moments of my life.
Hell yeah. How about you, CJ?
Detroit won 2 games in a row. No, I'm just kidding. Same thing, man. 26 years ago, I went to a house party and met my wife out in the back. She hated my guts. Then maybe about 4 or 5 months later, we seen each other at the club. We was drunk, and I was like, I'm gonna go holler at her. They were like, she doesn't like you. I was like, I got game, son. And the rest is history.
There it is. Yes. All right, y'all. The show is going to be November 20th at 7 p.m. at the Arlington Improv. Y'all, we got to throw out your socials real quick. Alvin, what are your social medias?
I keep it consistent for everybody. It's Alvin Sights, ALVIN SIGHTS. That's me on everything: Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. If Twitter's still around in about a month, Elon is doing that thing like a 72 cutlass. So yeah, I'm on all of those. TikTok, again, Instagram, Facebook, all of you can find me there.
Right on. And CJ, what are your social medias?
Comedian_CJ Starr, Instagram. I'm starting to, that's going to be my platform right there. Instagram and YouTube, comedian CJ Starr. I'm on Facebook and everything, but I've got close to 5,000 friends. I delete people during their birthday time. If we don't communicate, I learned that from comedian Q. You say happy birthday to them, and if you ain't said nothing to them in a year, you just delete them. Comedian CJ Starr with 2 R's. Please follow me for tickets and all that stuff on social media.
And you got to go check out the show this Sunday night, like we said, at 7 p.m. at the Arlington Improv. It's going to be amazing. Guys, thank you so much for being here and doing this podcast. I really appreciate it.
No problem, man.
And with that said, support local comedy in any way that you can. Please support local comedy. And thank you so much for listening.
Take it easy, bro.
And there it is. Thank you again so much for checking out the podcast today. If you enjoyed it, head over to your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, and iTunes, and give We Are Podcast Network a like. And if you've enjoyed this podcast, you're going to love the other podcasts here on the We Are Podcast Network. We have We Are Bagoo, a video game podcast where we talk Atari to Steam and everything between. That's me and Dr. Ethan Eastwood breaking down all that video game lore and having such a good time. Heroes, Zeros, a Dungeons and Distractions side quest. Me and the boys were playing some D&D. You can start that one from Season 1, Episode 1. It's a blast the whole way through. And I Hate Being Sober. Personal stories from epic people. I sit down with some of my favorite people of all time. We talk about their trials, their tribulations, and their journey this far. And finally, our new live video podcast, Camp/Horrorcast, where we're going to have a roundtable discussion about our favorite horror movies. That'll be available on Twitch and YouTube, streaming every Monday at 8 p.m. Check the links in the description to find out what movies we'll be watching. Also, check the links in the description for our social media. You can find us at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at /We Are Podcast Network. With that said, thank you so much for checking out the podcast today. Please remember to support local comedy in any way that you can. We'll see you next time.